All right.
lawnmowers.
Time now for This Week in Auto History, Mr. Mars.
All righty, sir. Got a few things that we saw was we really thought were interesting this week in auto history. You got it, Jeff?
Yep.
All righty. So this week, April the 29th, Oldsmobile built its final vehicle. Now, this closed the chapter that began on 1897 when Ransom E. Olds founded the company. I did not know it, but the cars were originally called Olds, after Ransom E. Olds, automobiles, from the Olds Motor Works up until 1942. And then it just kind of caught on and it actually became the Oldsmobile. And they were known for being innovators. They introduced the automatic transmissions and several modern production techniques. And at the height, they were selling 1 million cars a year. Now, as General Motors expanded and being General Motors being what it is, they had problems maintaining a different identity. They kind of got lost in the shuffle. So when they finally closed, they were the oldest American automobile brand still existing. And now that title has passed on to Buick in Jeff's honor.
Thank you.
So on April 30th, prior to World War II, the Rover Car Company was building luxury cars. Now, during the war, the factory got bombed. So restarted after they launched the Land Rover as a rugged utilitarian vehicle, basically focused on agricultural. And the idea was to build these easy to assemble vehicles with aluminum panels, very square, very boxy for 2 or 3 years, get some money going, get back into the Main Street luxury automobile market. But when they finally did that, they figured out that this Land Rover they were building actually outsold the cars. So they dropped that and focused back on the Land Rover and kept building them since then and created a very historic type vehicle. Next, we have May the 1st, the first Nelson motor car. Now, Nelson was a 29 horsepower car, started in 1917, and they were able to build 10 vehicles per day. Now, this was designed very much like a European style, and it had a 2.4 liter four-cylinder engine to start with. So, but they began production just before World War I. Of course, timing is everything. And so the E.A. Nelson Auto Company had serious financial issues. So September 1921, the company again filed for bankruptcy, but was permanently closed. So from 1917 to 1921, the company produced 1,028 cars.
Wow.
There is one known preserved car left today.
I like the wing on the back of that
You
convertible.
like that? Yeah, that's for the high speed. Now, May the 1st, Ford also introduced a new reduced work week in 1926. And they did a lot, 26. They've done a lot of things to change production models. But this decision was actually made in 1922 when Ford, they had 8-hour working days, and it was 6 days a week, and it gave them a 48-hour work week. But in 1926, it was announced that they were going to go to a 5 8-hour days, giving a 40-hour work week that is generally considered what we have today. And it started with on May the 1st in 26, the factory workers switched to that 4-day, 40-hour work week, and then the office workers switched thereafter. Then in May the 1st in 1994, Ayrton Senna dies at the Imola F1 Grand Prix. Now, this was really significant because this guy was a real up-and-comer. He was pretty young, and but during the qualifying runs the day before, there had been a lot of accidents. Roland Ratzenberger died in qualifying in an accident. Now, this really brought a lot of attention to it. This was a friend of his, and he was really focused on it, and it really bothered him. So he was trying to get everything and make sure he could stay as safe as he could, new family, all that. He wanted to make some adjustments to the steering column of his race car the night before the race. No time to rebuild it. So his crew got together and they modified his existing steering column, welded in some pieces to extend it the way he wanted it. Now, things went off. He took off on the race. But anyway, he had an accident, high speed in the corner, crashed, and the steering column is what killed him.
Wow.
Now, there was a lot of information, a lot of investigation. It took years. The first time, the owner of the team and the pit crew were charged with negligence because they welded it and they did not do it properly. Supposedly, the courts found that the accident was caused because of that failure, and so they were all charged, and then later the courts determined that it wasn't the cause, and then again later, another trial, they decided it was. Nobody actually went to jail or anything, but a lot of people got charged, and it was a very sad thing, and it created a lot of changes in the F1 as far as safety and things go. And again, it was really sad to read as much about it as I did because this guy was really a nice upcomer, it seemed.
Tesla